The Grand Convergence Hall had hosted wars, treaties, and the collapse of entire civilizations, but it had never hosted panic over a child's innocent sentence. Ambassador Threlian of the Unified Stellar Compact adjusted his ceremonial robes for the third time in as many minutes. The air shimmered with ancient magic and advanced technology, a rare combination reserved only for meetings involving the draconic sovereignty. Dragons were not merely another species. They were history itself, living legends whose lifespan stretched beyond recorded time. And today, one of them had arrived in person. Lady Serendrax, the Ember Crown, sat calmly at the center of the chamber, her immense form partially folded into a more diplomatic shape. Her scales glowed like banked embers, eyes molten gold, presence crushing. Around her finger, one claw, technically, rested an ancient ring etched with runes so old that even Compact's archives barely referenced them. Threlian swallowed hard. That ring alone could justify a planetary evacuation. The negotiations had been tense but controlled. Trade routes, border systems, mutual non-annihilation clauses, standard protocol when dragons were involved. Then the human delegation arrived late. They always did. Ambassador Elaine Carter entered with a team, offering a polite smile entirely unsuited to the gravity of the situation. Behind her walked security officers, advisors, and her son. Threlian froze. Children were not supposed to be here. Ambassador Carter. Threlian hissed quietly through the comm channel. Why is there a juvenile present? Elaine glanced back inside. I had no choice. Emergency school closure on Lunar Station. He'll sit quietly. The boy, no more than 8, looked around with wide, curious eyes. His gaze landed on Lady Serendrax. Instead of fear, or filled his face. Oh, he said loudly. The chamber went silent. Every delegate turned. Several species instinctively activated defensive shields. Lady Serendrax slowly turned a massive head toward the child. Threlian felt his secondary heart skip. This is irregular, the dragon rumbled, her voice echoing like distant thunder. The boy tilted his head, studying her ring with intense focus. Mrs. Dragon, he said politely, my mom has a ring like that. The universe stopped. Threlian nearly collapsed. The runes on the ring flared, reacting. Several elder diplomats gasped. One fainted outright. Lady Serendrax's eyes widened, not with rage, but shock. That is impossible, she said softly. The boy frowned. It's smaller. And silver, but the markings are the same. Grandma said it was a family heirloom. Threlian's mind raced. There were only 3 known rings of accord in existence. They predated interstellar civilization. They were forged during the First Pact, between dragons and... No, humans hadn't existed then. Had they? Lady Serendrax leaned closer, her massive presence casting a shadow over the child. Elaine Carter moved instantly, stepping between them without hesitation. My son means no disrespect, she said firmly. The dragon didn't even acknowledge her. What is your name? Hatchling. Serendrax asked. Lucas Carter. The dragon inhaled sharply. Carter. She raised her claw, activating a holographic projection of ancient star charts and genealogical sigils, symbols lost to time. There was once, she said slowly, a human woman who stood before my kind unarmed and unafraid. She carried a ring like this. She spoke for a fragile world and refused to kneel. Threlian felt dizzy. That woman's name, Serendrax continued, was Carter, in your language. Carter. Elaine's breath caught. Lucas blinked. Grandma says we don't kneel either. A low, rumbling sound echoed through the chamber. The dragon was laughing. Diplomat stared in disbelief as Lady Serendrax straightened, her posture no longer threatening but reverent. That ring, she said, was given to her bloodline as a promise. That dragons would remember. That we would never raise flame against her descendants. Threlian's legs finally gave out. He sat down hard. You're saying, he stammered, humans are under draconic accord protection. Sarendrax's gaze hardened. No, she corrected. They are under my protection. The chamber erupted into chaos. Delegates shouted. Systems recalculated treaties in real time. Entire power structures shifted in seconds. Elaine Carter stared at her son. Lucas, what ring? He shrugged. Mom's jewelry box. The one she never wears. Lady Sarendrax smiled, an expression that once terrified galaxies. Tell your mother, the dragon said gently, that an old friend remembers her oath. Negotiations ended immediately. The Compact revised its laws within the hour. Humans were no longer a minor species. They were legacy, and as a human delegation left, Frelian watched history rewrite itself, because a child recognized a ring and a dragon remembered a promise.